What are the top 3 challenges you experienced when starting WFP's innovation program? And were there maybe any assumptions or any hypotheses that you had setting up the accelerator that you pivoted on and that really didn't turn out to be correct?
So, and I think one of the challenges, maybe even before starting it, is that as the World Food Programme is 100% voluntarily funded, and a lot of our funds are directed towards specific activities in countries, we had a very hard challenge even finding the ability to test something like this. We needed a partner who is willing and actually embarks on the journey with you in terms of understanding that innovation is good, that innovation has inherent risks, but the payoff may be so much higher actually pushing some of those things. Like just doing the same thing over and over again will not get us to zero hunger. I think we acknowledge it, but so the first step is really having the right partners. I think the second and I think challenge or success factor is you need to have, well, in our case, I think it was very conducive to have our executive director on board and making sure that this is a priority that she wanted to pursue at the time. Because ultimately you will run into challenges inherently when you're trying to support innovations. Everything that you're doing is either new, ideally, or it's something that haven't been tried in that context or in that shape or form before. So if you think about that, you will run into lots of challenges in terms of like processes, rules, even, and that could be across like, the programmatic activities, but also processes. So I think that's maybe in terms of this challenge and success factors, I think you combine. In terms of what has changed or this is probably like, what have we learned over time? One I already alluded to is our original concept was based on saying, well, we have a presence phase in the country, or with kind of a presence phase in Munich, then they go to the country, then they go back to Munich to have another kind of a cohort group. We learned that actually the more the team spend on the ground with the people that they are actually innovating with, the more successful they are. So essentially, we changed that part of the program where wherever the team is, this is where we support them. And we only bring them to these boot camps for a 1-week period. And that's so far has been enough. Now I think our learning now last year was also, okay, how can we then still, despite doing that, and you may have teams in 15 different countries, how do you make sure that those still share their learnings and have their programs in between? And then maybe as a last learning is this is probably based on a successful strategy where we said we wanted to work with initially with innovation champions in the organization, people who are naturally inclined to take maybe higher innovative projects or activities with them, and actually use them as a lighthouse example for what innovation can do. And I think this has worked, I would say, very well. I mean, I think we're not there where we should be, and I think we definitely have to do more. But like starting off with people who already want to do innovation, I think was the right choice of actually starting the accelerator.